Well, hello, I'm Nathan Judah. I'm here with the Wolverhampton Wanderers reporter and a drenched rat that is Mr. Joe Edwards. First of all, are you safe? Are you warm? Are you dry-ish?
Ish, yeah, ish is probably the best way to describe it. Absolutely sodden, yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious! I mean, that's probably Braga levels of rain. That was incredible. Look, a draw,
Yeah.
Joe. Uh, some feared the worst going to this game, and you can understand it. How do you think Wolves played, and can they be happy with the draw?
There was good and bad, I guess, but I think more positives coming out of it than negatives, especially when you factor in the young lads who've come into the side. Fabio Silva, of course, getting the nod up front and gets himself a goal, albeit a bit fortunate in the end, but you got to be in the right place and show that appetite, and he did. I mean, his work rate was great again, as it has been for a while, and Vitinha, bit of moment of class in the build up to that goal. Nice little flick. Otasewi probably doing as well as you could expect out of position on the right hand side. So yeah, I mean, the equaliser was disappointing, and it was a free header for Dianya, and that level of defending is something that we've seen far too much this season, and not just over the last few weeks. But I think coming out of it, of course, Wolves are the happier of the two sides, and yeah, it certainly could have been a lot worse coming out of it. A decent night's work in the end.
I mean, much changed lineup, Joe. I've got to say, looking at the game, I thought some of the young lads put some of the older ones to shame.
Yeah.
The way that they've come in and really, really rolled the sleeves up and put on a shift there. And look, things didn't come off all the time, as you can understand, with the conditions there. But I tell you what, the work rate was there, and the work rate was not there against Burnley. They were up for this, and yeah, Otasawi gave a few balls away. There was some things didn't come off for some of the youngsters, but at the same time, I thought they did really, really well. Vitinha, even Nori as well, I thought was very good, especially in the first half. They've come out with credit. I think plenty of them in that performance.
Yeah, and I mean, as Nuno remarked afterwards, very tough conditions. I mean, the rain was swirling throughout, and it almost got to a comic.
It's the wind as well, wasn't it? The wind as much as the rain.
The wind as well, and then it was almost like a comical downpour at the end. It was like a monsoon level, so. That has to be factored in, and they dug in. They were up for the battle. I mean, as you say, Vitinha, I thought, applied himself very well, and just that little flick in the build up to the goal. It's those little moments like that have been few and far between for large parts of the season for Wolves. So a nice little touch of class there. And Silva, I mean, he's on 4 goals now for the season, and obviously the joint top scorers are. And Neves and Neto on 5 each. I mean, he could easily end this season as top goal scorer, and considering everything that's happened and some of the criticism that he's had, and of course the price tag being, a weight on his shoulders, I think he's done really well, the lad. And I think, especially since probably the turn of the year, I think you can see how hard he's been working, and his work rate can never be questioned, and he's found himself in the right place at the right time. A bit fortunate, but it finished off a nice move as well.
Yeah, look, 20 shots tonight, Joe. 20 shots on goal. I mean, that I can't remember the last time that happened, and that's what you want to see. And look, Wolves aren't going down. They're not finishing the top half of the table. But what they can do, well, I don't think they are. But what they can do is do it. Be a bit more expansive. Try some shots. Work on some things. Be positive. That's what fans want to see. And you're not going to get criticised too much if you're showing those things on the pitch.
Well, yeah, based on tonight's evidence. I mean, we've said it for a while, but we've wanted to see Silva in the team because ultimately he's your long-term prospect that you've invested a huge amount of money in. So, he had the shirt for tonight. He's made the most of it, and I should imagine he should keep the shirt now for the rest of the season. Jose didn't get on the pitch tonight, and I think that's Silva's shirt to lose. I'd like to see more of Vitinha. I know Pedence, perhaps fitness was a factor. Maybe he wasn't fit enough to play, a full 90 minutes tonight, but at the same time, he's not played brilliantly as of late, and Vitinha has come in and done himself no harm at all. So, these young players, that's what you want to see. You want to see them come in, apply themselves and show touches of quality, and I think they've done that.
And I assume for the Brighton game, Owen Otasowo will be in goal because he's played every other bloody position. What's going on? What's going on, the poor lad? I don't know what's happening.
No, I don't know whether he does or whatever, but I mean, Nuno loves versatility, and he's played up front, he's played right wing, he's played centre half for the youth team. So I mean, he looks like a midfielder, doesn't he? You know, you'd imagine he'd be in there alongside Neves.
I mean, when he plays in his proper position, mate, he's going to be an absolute world beater. But it's just bizarre. Not just the positions, but also, you know, you can play and then you play and then you're banished for 10 games, then you come back in and then you're banished again off the substitute appearance, and then you're straight back in. It's just, you know, on the right wing, it's a strange one to me. It really is.
It is strange, but given the circumstances, you mentioned that he had a few off touches early on, a few stray passes, but I think that's to be expected. I mean, you know, ultimately this was only his second senior start, and that coming in a Black Country derby as well. So he's been kind of, you know, it's a baptism of fire playing right wing in this game, and all round, I think. Obviously, the equaliser disappointing, but not a bad night's work.
Yeah, and I guess the frustrating thing, like you said, the equaliser, which was coming really, you know, Albion put on, probably could have scored a couple of times before that. I guess the disappointing thing, you worry when Mike Dean comes on at half-time. You think that could be Albion's best possible substitute. And frustrating with a 3-on-1 that got pulled back as well, Joe. I mean, you know, he plays for that, and it could be a completely different story we're talking about. Not to be, but at the same time, you've got to say that a lot of these guys who started tonight have deserved the chance to play again on Sunday against Brighton.
I think so. I think the three that have come in, I mean, whether we'll see Otasowo on the right wing again, but I think they've done themselves no harm at all, and even, you know, some of the performers that were, you know, hurting from the Burnley game. I mean, Ain't Nuri has sharpened up defensively. You know, let's not forget that. I mean, he, you know, for a while he was looking like he just wasn't really defending that much at all, but he has really tightened up in that regard. I thought Semedo was decent going forward. Yeah, the midfielders were industrious. I mean, Neves put a shift in without really anything coming off. I mean, he still looks a half step off after that, you know, period with COVID. But yeah, it's not nothing to, you know, go having a big song and dance about. But as you say, after that Burnley defeat, they've kind of, you know, they have restored pride and they've put a shift in tonight, and you know, there's a bit of momentum at least going into Brighton.
Get home, get a cup of soup, get a towel around you, just sit and just try and dry out for a little bit, mate, and we'll speak to you in about 24 hours.
Cheers, mate. See you later.
Cheers, pal.